Have you ever had a friend who refused to go out on Friday nights? Not because they were broke, not because they were sick, but because they were working on something? Or maybe you know someone who eats the same meal every single day, drives a beat-up car they could clearly afford to upgrade, and still somehow seems happy about it? People around them think, something's off with this person. But here's what's interesting. Fast forward 5-10 years, and that same weird person, they've built a business. They've got financial freedom. They're the one everyone else is asking for advice. Today, we're going to talk about 10 behaviors that future wealthy people have. Behaviors that look strange, even antisocial to everyone around them. And by the end of this video, you might realize some of these behaviors sound a lot like you. Let's get into it. Imagine you're at a party. Someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, can I have $20? I just need it for something quick." You'd probably hesitate, right? You'd want to know what it's for. But now imagine someone says, "Hey, can I borrow 30 minutes of your time just to chat?" Most people say yes without thinking twice. Future wealthy people don't. They're the ones who decline meetings without clear agendas. They're the ones who don't answer every text immediately. They're the ones who say, "I can't do lunch," and don't apologize for it. To everyone else, this looks cold, arrogant even. But what they understand, deeply, is that time is the only currency you can never earn back. Money lost can be recovered. Time lost, it's gone, forever. So when they say no to you, they're not being rude, they're being protective. They know exactly what they're working toward, and they're not letting anything pull them off course. Ask a future wealthy person what they did over the weekend, and the answer might sound something like, "I spent 12 hours learning about supply chain logistics in Southeast Asia," or, "I went deep on how insurance companies actually make money." Their friends look at them like they've lost their mind. But here's the thing. Wealth almost always hides in the boring corners of the world. The industries that sound dull, the processes no one wants to learn, the problems that make people's eyes glaze over, those are exactly where opportunity lives. Future wealthy people don't wait to be passionate about something flashy. They develop passion by going deep. And the deeper they go into something others ignore, the more of an edge they build. It looks weird from the outside. From the inside, it's one of the most powerful advantages a person can have. This one confuses people the most. You know someone who just landed a great new job. Big raise, good title. Everyone's expecting them to show up with a new car, move into a nicer apartment, upgrade their wardrobe. Instead, nothing changes. Same apartment, same car, same packed lunch. People whisper, "What's the point of making money if you don't spend it?" But future wealthy people are playing a completely different game. They're not optimizing for looking wealthy. They're optimizing for becoming wealthy. And those two things are often opposites. Every dollar not spent on appearances is a dollar that can go into an investment, a business, a skill. They understand that the gap between what you earn and what you spend is where real wealth is built, quietly, invisibly, over time. The irony? The people who look the richest are often the furthest from financial freedom, and the ones who look underpaid are sitting on something no one can see yet. Most people will do almost anything to avoid being wrong in front of others. It feels embarrassing, shameful even. Future wealthy people are different. They'll say something out loud, get corrected, and then immediately say, "You're right, I was wrong, thank you." No defense, no ego protection, just update and move on. To observers, this can actually seem unsettling. Why aren't they upset? Why don't they push back? But here's what they've figured out. Being wrong fast is better than being wrong slowly. If your idea is flawed, you want to find out in a conversation, not after you've spent 6 months and $50,000 on it. They've decoupled their ego from their ideas. Their identity isn't attached to being right. Their identity is attached to getting to the right answer. That's a massive shift, and it's one most people never make. Future wealthy people often opt out of things that are culturally expected. They skip the group vacation that everyone's going on. They don't watch the show everyone's talking about. They pass on the industry networking event that you absolutely must attend. And the social cost is real. People feel rejected. They get labeled as difficult or antisocial or too serious. But what they're doing is something subtle and powerful. They're constantly auditing their attention. They ask themselves, does this move me forward? Or does this just make me feel like I'm participating? Most social obligations are designed around the average. And if you want average results, average obligations are fine. But if you're building something outside the average, you have to protect your time and mental bandwidth from the pull of consensus. Here's a behavior that makes some people uncomfortable to watch. Future wealthy people reach out to people who are way ahead of them. They ask to meet with someone running a $10 million business. They send a message to an author whose book changed their thinking. They ask detailed, specific questions to successful people in rooms where they're clearly the least experienced person. It looks bold. Sometimes it looks pushy. But they've internalized something simple. The fastest way to level up is to spend time around people who are already where you want to be. Not to impress them, to learn from them. And most successful people, when approached with genuine curiosity and respect, are surprisingly open to conversation. The ones who wait until they're ready to talk to high-level people, they stay stuck waiting. Everyone knows about delayed gratification in theory, but future wealthy people actually do it for years, sometimes decades. They don't take the vacation yet. They don't redecorate the apartment yet. They don't upgrade the phone yet. Not because they can't afford it, but because they've made a deliberate choice to keep investing in the future version of themselves. To people around them, this looks like deprivation, or anxiety, or an inability to enjoy life. But there's a different way to see it. They've found genuine enjoyment in the process of building. The progress itself is satisfying. The compound growth, financial, personal, professional, is exciting to them in a way that a new gadget simply isn't. Delayed gratification isn't punishment. For them, it's a lifestyle they've chosen, and they don't feel like they're missing out. When most people fail at something, a business that didn't work, an investment that went south, a project that flopped, there's grief, there's embarrassment, there's a period of avoidance. Future wealthy people go through a very different process. They fail, they pause, and then they analyze. What happened? What did I miss? What would I do differently? They write it down. They talk about it openly. Sometimes they even share it publicly. This is genuinely strange to watch. Because in most cultures, failure is something you hide. You move on, you don't talk about it, you protect your reputation. But they've reframed failure entirely. A failed attempt is just expensive data. It's feedback. It's the universe telling you something you needed to know. And the faster you process it, the faster you can apply it. The person who hides from failure gets slower. The person who analyzes it gets smarter. Over time, that gap becomes enormous. This one creates real friction. Future wealthy people often develop views about money, business, education, lifestyle that don't align with the people around them. And they'll say those things out loud, even when it's uncomfortable. They might question the value of a degree their family insists on. They might disagree with how their friend group thinks about risk. They might see an opportunity in something their peers are dismissing. People find this threatening. It can feel like judgment, but it's actually just independent thinking in action. They're not being contrarian for sport. They're processing the world through their own lens, informed by what they've read, who they've talked to, what they've tested. And they've learned to trust that process more than social consensus. This is the one that ties everything together. Future wealthy people often seem distracted, distant, like they're only halfway present in conversations, in social situations, in everyday life. That's because they are. They're running a parallel simulation in their head, constantly. They're thinking about how to solve the problem they're working on. They're connecting dots. They're seeing 2 steps ahead. It's not that they don't care about the people around them. It's that they're so locked into their own mission that the noise of ordinary life simply doesn't land the same way. To everyone else, this looks like aloofness, like they think they're better than everyone. But it's not superiority. It's focus. Extreme, sustained, almost obsessive focus on a goal that nobody else can see yet. And that invisibility, that's part of the design. Because by the time everyone can see it, it's already done. So there you have it. 10 behaviors. 10 things that look strange, antisocial, even arrogant from the outside. But here's the truth. The path to wealth has never looked normal. Because normal is already taken. Normal is average income, average savings, average life. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want something different, you have to be willing to look different while you're getting there. The people who will be wealthy 5 years from now are already acting weird today. They're guarding their time, going deep on boring things, living below expectations, failing openly, reaching up, delaying gratification, thinking independently, and running a game in their heads that nobody else around them understands yet. And if you recognized yourself in any of those behaviors today, if you thought, wait, that sounds like me, don't apologize for it. Keep going. The results will explain everything. If this resonated with you, share it with the one person in your life who would understand it, because they're probably already living it. See you in the next one.